Okay, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 3. But this is my second time shooting this, so hopefully this works. I do want to shout out that now that I'm taking this seriously, and you guys should subscribe and like at this point because the content is just going to keep coming and it's going to be awesome value. I do want to say, give a shout out to my new studio setup here. We have a tiny little light and Arnie going limitless. All right. Hope you guys having a fantastic day, y'all. I have something really fun planned for you guys. The first episode we really talked about lenders, the different types of lenders that exist in your business and real estate acquisition. Uh, the second episode we did take a little bit of a side stream and talk about the importance of social media for all businesses, personal brands, everything that's really needed because this has become our one-stop shop really to understand what's going on in the world, y'all. Okay, and now today we are really going to be talking about how you can source your next real estate or your next business deal. And I have used some of these strategies in the past and plan to use more of these in the future. And it's pretty much like uh, pretty well structured here in the US. I'm not really sure about like the other places in the world and stuff. But to all the haters and the naysayers and the people that are like, "Hey, I don't know how to acquire a business, or how why will somebody want to be selling a business or a home or something like that, or interest rates are too high, or yada yada yada." Just here's the thing, you guys, when there's a will there's a way, so don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something, and just go in there and make your magic happen. There are ways to make it work. There will be challenges along the way, and we just have to really bust through them and like hit the new mountain tops that we need to. All right, so I want to keep this one short as well, but here we go. Hopefully, you guys will be able to see my screen here in a second. Perfect. Okay, so both of these things, you guys, again, this is a short video. I just want to talk about the process of business and real estate acquisition. What are the different channels that exist, and if there are other like channels that you know about, let me know. Um, Drop them in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going. Again, so most people know about a real estate agent. If you guys are trying to buy some real estate, you would ideally go to them. You'd look up probably the asset class or the asset type that you're looking for, whether it's land or houses. They are going out to the field. It's their job to basically look out for new properties, scout them out, bring them into their agency and brokerage. Um, and then essentially they get the help of their disposition team in marketing this listing out to other channels and other investors and other like folks that might be interested um, in this deal, right? So what some of you guys may not know about though is that there is this whole world of people that exist called real estate wholesalers, and we are going to be talking more about them in on this channel as well. But they do play a very critical role in like towns revitalizations, things like that, because what we'll see here in a few minutes is that banks don't always lend to all people and to all properties. So when that happens, this underserved or under addressed like section of people and houses that are left um, in the unbankable section, and they still need help and assistance, right? So that's where like the wholesalers really step in. They take care of pain points. They're here to problem solve. They do um, work out like terms and deals with like people that need help. So this is a cool little thing that I'm going to be talking about, and a lot of people on my channel may not actually know that this section of people really exist. And then the last thing is you can also acquire businesses straight out through business brokers through their acquisition and disposition teams. So now that we understand, team, that there is essentially two aspects of uh, real estate and business buying and selling, and you can call this like commercial and residential. All right. So um, there we go. So this is commercial and residential, right? The same rules apply. So there's a team that's actively looking for new opportunities, new commercial uh, multi units, like a 300 unit, lot is also has to go through agents and brokers a lot of times, and then they go into their dispo track, and then the disposition team is really responsible to market and send this information out to the interested parties and on their social platforms and our online platforms and things like that. So now most people that are watching this would probably fall under the operators section. So if you are wanting to buy a house and like rent by room, or set up a portion of that as an Airbnb, or add a ADU to the back of your unit so that you can set that up as an Airbnb, or set up a duplex or a triplex. Now most of the folks on this, in that are like financially educated at least, do understand that these strategies exist for uh, people in that can like own land and like invest in their own homes, right? Um so 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 what's important to understand is that you guys have all of these different categories of people that we can work with, and it doesn't just have to be the agents. And I'm going to call out, like, over here, the a lot of the main web channels that we've heard of are like Zillow and like Redfin, right? But a lot of folks haven't heard of Investor Lift, which is a wholesale distribution channel for real estate wholesalers, right? So check this one out. And then the business broker websites is like Biz Buy Sell, and Biz Biz Scout is what I'd heard recently. Um, and then all of these are basically like the big marketing channels, right? And then all of the agents will sort of list um, their deals on Zillow and Redfin. And also super important is the MLS is like the real estate database of all active listings and stuff done in the past. So, as an operator, when you come in, so me and I guess a lot of other folks that are coming into real estate or have heard of real estate and have heard of some of the real estate strategies fall under this operator section, right? Um, there are other operators like us. There might be people that acquire a single house, a single family house, and turn it into a group living, right? Where these are the different strategies that you have: sober living, assisted living, old age homes, college living for universities, right? So we all know about this, but essentially this is a full investment property now. You're not really living in the property yourself as the operator or the investor. You will potentially have a team that helps you manage this, and then also you're using that property for a specific purpose, right? Um, on the business side, I wanted to share a couple of examples of what operators look like. So, if you want to buy and manage a self storage unit, a U-Haul service, an auto repair shop, even a fix and flipper really is in the operations of like of doing some work on the real estate and residential space, but it's more of a short term operation, right? His plan is to buy a deal wholesale, and then like rehab the property, make it livable, make it market ready, and then list it again on the real estate or on the disposition sites. So let me just talk about why there is this section of people called wholesalers here, real quick. So, you guys, we just mentioned that um, the bank here, who is the lender in most cases, 90% of the cases, right? They will um, give you loans, and they will basically back you up on a loan for a property if it makes sense. So most of the time, the properties have to be turnkey, where somebody is just coming in and going to start living in the house. Somebody was already living in it before, and there's going to be a a new family that moves in. Not a lot has to be done. Maybe some a nice clean, right? So that's the kind of property that a bank will loan on. Now, for the person that's requesting for the loan, you have to have good credit. You should have paid your tax so many ever months, years, and have to classify under their like rules and regulations in order to get that loan and be approved for it, right? Um, but what happens is that a lot of times, really like houses that are in shambles, that have not been kept up with, they're pretty much in a very deteriorated condition, and the banks are not going to loan a house, loan a residential loan on that. So either you can go to the bank and ask for a construction loan, or you basically don't work with the banks. And that's where these guys come in, the private money and the hard money folks. Okay. On so the wholesalers will, these are the you would have seen by the side of the road, where they have the billboards up that say, hey, we buy houses in any condition, cash up front, things like that, right? So they will work out a cash deal with you, um, potentially for people that have, like, lived in their houses for like 10, 15 years, 5 years, whatever, have built a little bit of equity, but have not really kept up with it, with the house too much. They're willing to forego on a little bit of the appreciation advantage for the cash flow, for the wholesalers to be able to sell it to somebody like a fix and flipper, and then they will essentially rehab the property and then put that back up on the market, right? So in this sort of a session, though, the banks are not really usually involved, because this is a transaction between two or three different people. The wholesalers are basically buying a all down cash investment, right? And say if the house was like worth um, $350,000, the person bought it like 20 years ago for $80,000. um, the the wholesaler will come in and make a cash offer at like $210,000, right? So there's still an appreciation advantage for the buy for the seller. There has to be maybe $80,000 worth of work that has to be put into the property. So the wholesaler sells it to a fix and flipper, who then puts it back on the market for 350. So he uh, he has holding costs, and he also has um, like the rehab costs that we just spoke of. So again, he's putting it like maybe $100,000, and then he's walking out with it with 50K at the end of that project, right? So in this whole scenario, the bank was not involved. The wholesaler, and that's where like really the wholesalers really plug in. Okay, they come in with cash offers, and they also come with creative offers. Usually they don't really come with conventional offers, because this, like, we're not really looking for this house for a as a permanent residence for somebody. If that's what you're looking for, then maybe the best option is to just go down um the homeowner with the bank route, right? So yeah, so the wholesalers do that, and then they'll come up with cash or terms, or creative terms are basically payments. So they come back and say, hey, like, I understand that your house is worth like 350. We have about 100K worth of work that we need to put on this. How about we partner on this project together, and or let me buy it from you, but make payments not all upfront, but like in segments, right? Or you get a monthly return, and maybe you can get like $50,000 upfront, or like 20K, whatever it is that you guys decide on your terms, right? So, yeah, hey guys, I hope this was a little bit helpful. I just wanted to get on here and really share with everybody that there are a whole different uh, ways to acquire real estate and business. Um, and most of us just know about this homeowner loan, but there are like investor friendly loans. You can also go to the bank and get like investor friendly loans, like a DSCR loan, but your down payment is just going to be much more than a personal loan, obviously. um, and then yeah, so options do exist. Don't let anyone tell you you can't go build or buy the business of your dreams, and or go live in a place. Of course, you have to like get to a point where you can afford bigger things, but you should be able to at least look at real estate as an investment opportunity as well, not just in the stocks, and sort of learn how to operate and learn what are the advantages and disadvantages, right? So now that we're really talking about like returns, I want to focus on this last column here, which is the investor column. So these guys, y'all, have a very important and critical part to play as well. Um, so our investor friends are basically like you and me. Okay, that's what we would fall under private money. And like hard money is more like institutional money. And an example was like gators that we spoke about last time, or also HMLs. They're actually called HMLs. um, and these lenders have an important part to play in this overall operation, right? So the operators need funds, so they go to the investors and seek those funds. But again, the operators just have to make sure that they're responsible, they know exactly what they're doing, and they are able to operate the asset or the business that they're trying to buy. So and a lot of times, like your lenders will ask your operators for a resume, and give us your operational experience, right? And like, why should we loan money to you? Show us a little bit of a portfolio or a pro forma, and then it's a lot easier to get money on the table and get people to invest with you, because you know what you're doing, and you know that everybody's going to get paid at the end of the month, or whatever it is that your terms are. Um, so the lenders, y'all, why would somebody want to lend and invest in business and real estate? Because honestly, the returns are way better than the stock market. I think the stock market averages 7%. I pretty much like when I don't know how much time my money takes to grow in the stock returns, but like it's not enough, I don't think. But I think the average is like 7% or something like that. So it does make sense to have guaranteed returns on a hard asset, or a working business, right? Which is not going to like go away or whatever it is. So the investors really invest for much higher returns. Over here, you would see anywhere from 8 to 20% return sometimes. Again, 20% maybe on the business loans, and that is more expensive money. But a lot of hard money is like 12 to 20% and like 2 points or whatever. It does play out to be about that much, right? Um, so who are these lenders? The lenders are the folks that want to invest in your business but don't want to operate the business. So some of the folks that we spoke about last time fall under the private money and hard money category, but the banks are probably the biggest investors and loan originators, right? So you know work with them when you have a need for a conventional primary residence, things like that. Work with other lenders when you need different sorts of loans for maybe an operational asset or maybe a business acquisition or things like that, where you don't really need your personal credit on the line, and you can have a business backed loan and a credit, right? Um, so that's why these investors really come in with their money, because they get much higher returns. It's guaranteed. Um, like the folks that I know over here that work with PMLs, they're pretty much sending out paychecks on the last day of the month. Like everybody's happy to be, uh, part of this flow and to get mailbox money. That's pretty much what lenders are expecting. They're like, hey, don't bother me with how your group home is performing or how your self storage facility is performing. As long as I'm getting my $500, I'm not going to, I don't care, right? And more money and more business to you. All right, guys, so I hope this was helpful. This is the operators, yeah, the business, self storage, auto repair. I was just giving examples, but let me know what you guys are more interested in. I am actually right in the middle of real estate and business. uh, in the season of my life right now. I am learning how to also use like a rent by room and co-living sort of situation, offer more affordable housing to people. Um, with my homes right now. Also looking to scale into maybe a portfolio of about like 5 or 6 homes soon. And then use it for like maybe college living or something like that. It's just like co-living. And then I'm actively looking at my business options also. As you all know, right now I work in tech and I have a little bit of a marketing and business background. And I'm trying to see where I can best apply that, and but also get like equity and ownership in the business that I want to support next. All right, guys, that was it from me. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. I'll come back more for episode 4, where we'll maybe touch a little bit more about like wholesaling, how to get started. If you guys are interested in sourcing good deals, hearing what's happening in the real estate space, we'll touch on that. And then eventually, I do want to get through to some of the business buying and uh, some of that work that I'm doing as well. So I hope this is entertaining for y'all, and feel free to join me on my journey, y'all. This is the Rich Ridge logging out.